My name's Eileen Craig, and I'm from Brighton, Michigan. When I was 16, I became pregnant, and my boyfriend pressured me to have an abortion. I was sick, confused, scared, and thought it was a problem that needed to be solved. When we got to the abortion clinic, I was shaking. I was taken into a room for counseling where I was given a drug and told to calm down and not to worry about it, honey. It's not a baby, it's just a clump of cells. Then she took me into another room where I remember paper sheets and a paper gown, and the abortionist came in. He put on a rubber glove, did something to me, and I heard him walk out the door, and there was thin walls in this clinic, and the glove snap off of his hand, him laugh out loud and say, "That's the way I like to get them." I went completely numb, but I can still remember the tears and felt the tears coming down my eyes that soaked that paper sheet that I was lying on. That abortion was a defining moment in my life. And I will never forget going back to school after that at 16 years old. And a guy came up to me in the hallway and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Eileen, what is wrong?" And I said, "Nothing." Why? Because a denial came over me. But he said, "You look different." And I was different. After that, the downward spiral began for me. I began to use drugs and to drink. And by the time I was 20, I had had 2 more abortions. And if I had to describe the way my soul must have looked to God at that time in my life, I would have to say it would be total moral decay. Finally, God was there, and my mother was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. And He sent the healing that I needed through the prayers of my mother being with God and the prayers of a venerable saint, Father Solanus Casey in Detroit, and a holy nun that was healed through his intercession, and she prayed with me, and I was able to embrace my children, have masses said for them, give them names, Autumn, Kenneth, and Daniel, and I asked their forgiveness. I grieved their loss. I still do. I grieve the loss of not having them here in my life today and the grandchildren that I should have right now. During the time I grieved this loss, Jesus spoke to me. He held me and told me these words, "I still love you." I wish that this was not my story. And from the depths of my being, I know abortion needs to be recalled. I believe that if it wasn't legal when I was 16, that this wouldn't be my story. And that's why I'm silent no more.